Alright guys, so for the first portion of my 50-point project, I'm going to take you through a little bit of a gameplay of a game that is very dear to my heart, and that being Final Fantasy IX. A little bit of a nerd, but it's okay. The game was originally released by Squaresoft Studios in 2000 for the original PlayStation, and the version that I'll be showing you today is the remastered digital edition for the PlayStation 4. I'm going to be taking you through a little bit of the aesthetics and mainly the mechanics that make this game as awesome as it is, at least in my eyes. So without further ado, I'm going to get into the gameplay a little bit here. I should be coming across a battle any second, which is very common among the Final Fantasy series to run into random encounters. And so with the battle system, you have what you call a turn-based battle system. If you've played these games before, you're probably very familiar with it, and it's definitely common among the Pokemon franchise as well. If you're not familiar with the term turn-based battle, it is what it sounds like. I mean, they take turns hitting you, you take turns hitting them, so on and so forth. So it's pretty self-explanatory. With that comes advantages and disadvantages. Disadvantages include, you can't really go back and change the decision that you made. Once you've picked it, you're basically screwed if you pick the wrong one. But with that also comes the advantage, because once you realize that you made a mistake, you can go back and change it, alter your decision making for the better for future bosses, future battles that'll get more complex and more challenging, but that's all part of the gaming process, and Final Fantasy in particular is just a huge series of trial and error. Now, the way it looks, as compared to the 2000 release, this game looks phenomenal. They definitely paid a lot of attention to detail, especially with the character design and the environment, which I thought they would kind of skimp out on, as the surrounding features aren't as important to the story, but they definitely paid very close attention to it, and it's very beautiful all around, especially in HD. Now, with the way it sounds, different songs, different battle themes, depending on where you're at. Location is a big part of the soundtrack in the game. If you're in a quiet city, they'll play something calm. If you're in a battle like I am now, they'll play something a little more upbeat. And there's actually no speaking until Final Fantasy X, which was the first game to hit PlayStation 2 in the franchise. All the speech kind of comes from speech bubbles above their heads, which you can't really see now, but the dialogue you basically have to read, so it's kind of like a book within a game, but if you enjoy reading like I do, then it's really no problem. And you can usually often just skip over it too, but sometimes that comes as a disadvantage because you might miss something important. But with that being said, this is Final Fantasy IX digital edition for the PS4 for like $15-16. It's definitely worth it if you're into RPGs, and overall it's just a great game.